How's it going, Diablo player? So you want to see the absolutely most silly build I have ever played in Diablo? Well, that's gonna be the pure teleport Oculus build here. Don't get me wrong, this build does kind of damage, but it's more for like challenging yourself to not go crazy. Just look at this. This build is obviously amazing to clear pit bosses. You can see I can hit the pit boss with almost every 10th teleport or so. It is absolutely amazing for clearing Uber Lilith. You know, if you can make Uber Lilith with this build, just drop me a comment and I will probably, you know, send you some kind of a gift if you finish Uber Lilith without targeting with, you know, the real teleport, but using the evade teleport. Infernal Hordes Council plays like a breeze. I have never killed Infernal Hordes Council so fast with a juiced up build. And you know, there's absolutely no way you're randomly gonna teleport into a poison death explosion and just gonna instantly blow up. That's not gonna happen. You're gonna have the reactions to avoid that, right? Oh, and I almost forgot, this build is also very efficient for farming Helltides. Just look at how we auto-teleport through the Helltide and never end up being in the same place we have already been before. And you know, in general, this is just a completely silly build, so I don't even know why I make this a build guide. I guess there's hope that at some point the Oculus gets changed and will actually target an enemy from the random teleport, which would make this build freaking amazingly strong. But you know, right now with the random teleport, this build is just pure trash. But you know, I think it's fun, so I show off to you anyway, so you can see the footage. I have a Pit tier 101, which was actually just 3 minutes, so it wasn't so bad, but you know, I ended up cheating and moving a little bit. I'm showing you some funny Uber Lilith attempts, and I have an Infernal Hordes tier 7. You can actually do Infernal Hordes tier 8, but the council just takes so long. It's probably going to be like 15 minutes or something like that, so I really didn't want to do this. But yeah, so that's the most silly build. It's the Oculus teleport build, and you know, take this with a little bit of humor. This is not a serious build. Anyway, you will find the links to the sections of this guide, and also I made a planner for you, and it's in the description down below. And let's go into the skill tree. Alright, let's go for 2 into Firebolt, and then we just go for Charge Bolts into Destructive Charge Bolts for the little bit of extra damage reduction. We don't need any core skill damage or whatsoever here. Just 1 point into Potent Warding to reach the next skills. Then we have 4 in Flame Shield. We max out Teleport into Mystical Teleport, because we obviously need that juicy 500% teleport damage. Max out Glass Cannon, 1 Elemental Attunement, Ice Armor into Mystical Ice Armor for the little bit of extra damage. Then we do 2 into Align the Elements. We don't use Mana Shield because we don't use mana. Then Protection is maxed out. Ice Blades into Summoned Ice Blades. Lightning Spear into Enhanced Lightning Spear. You don't want to choose Invoked Lightning Spear. Like, mobs are gonna get stunned all over the place, and it's gonna even scatter them out. Like, it's even gonna scatter them out much more. So really don't take this unless you want to have an even more boring time than I have with this build. And then we max out Conjuration Mastery, and we go into Devouring Blaze here. Then Hoarfrost, as usual. Then we go into Worms here, where this is pretty much one of our barrier generators together with Temerity. Unstable Currents into Supreme Unstable Currents. We want the faster Crackling energy hits because we're using Overflowing Energy here. And together with the extra hits we also get from Mystical Teleport, we get a nice amount of Crackling energy hits, which actually helps a good amount with cooldown reduction. And then obviously we have Causing Currents into Electrocution and, you know, already talked about it, Overflowing Energy. For the skills, really not much to talk about. You know, we just spam the Conjurations, we just spam the Ice Armor, we just spam the Flame Shield. You can use the Teleport to kind of go into a direction, and it helps with picking up singular mobs. It has a very low cooldown, so you kind of can target with this. Unfortunately, you cannot get the cooldown low enough to just rely on real teleport. The lowest I was getting at roughly 70% cooldown reduction was 2.22 seconds. At some point, the extra ranks in teleport do not reduce the cooldown anymore, so if I take some ranks out here, you can see it stays exactly the same, right? It's 2.92. If I get back into the, if I get the teleport ranks back here, you're gonna see it's still 2.92. So you cannot really reduce this. I don't know when it starts to not reduce the cooldown anymore, probably like somewhere around 20 or so, but so yeah, you really cannot get the cooldown so low that you do not rely on Oculus. Don't even try, it's not gonna work. And then yeah, we have Unstable Currents on cooldown, obviously very low cooldown here. And Ice Blades Enchant simply for the extra cooldown reduction even more, and Firebolt Enchant is simply mandatory because we need the burning. For the gear, I also don't want to drag this out too far, so we go for Shaco for the armor and for the cooldown reduction. We need as much cooldown reduction as possible, because it also works on the teleport enchantment here. Tyrael's Might really just helps you staying alive. You know, you can go for Raiment if you're like especially suicidal or something like that, but you know, I would recommend going with Tyrael's Might here. Then for gloves, you want to have attack speed, greater FX, critical strike chance. You want to get as much crit chance as possible, because that's what we're not having in this build. And you want to have lucky a chance to freeze and obviously teleport damage. And we play our aspect of Inner Calm. Since we are not moving, teleporting and evading doesn't count as moving, so this is going to be up pretty much all the time. Then we go for Temerity. This is very good for barrier generation, even more life, and also damage reduction. And I feel like we don't really need any other pan slot here, so this really helps with staying alive in this build. Then we go for regular boots with, you know, Bounding Conduit. This is going to reduce our teleport even further, and also our Crackling energy is even going to hit more targets. We want to have evade cooldown reduction, a high roll, and other than that, we want to have intelligence, life, the 4 stat doesn't, third stat doesn't even matter, get whatever you want, and again, chance to freeze. Then we go for, obviously, 4 greater affix, juicy Oculus here. You want to hit teleport damage or teleport ranks here. You don't need a 4 greater affix, it really doesn't matter all that much. For focus, we go for more damage, shredding blades in this case. And you want to again have greater affix, crit chance, cooldown reduction, intelligence. And you know, you want to have teleport damage. I have shock, critical strike damage, which is very, very bad. So you want to have teleport damage, and we want to have chance for a second lightning spear, because we don't really need any weapon temper in this build. The only one would be teleport, area of effect, and that's already maxed by the Oculus here. Then, you know, Rasha ring with cooldown reduction, nothing special here. Then we want to have one more ring with, again, greater FX, crit chance, attack speed, intelligence, teleport damage, unstable currents, cooldown reduction, and conceited aspect. Really try to get as much critical strike chance as possible. I'm only at like 60% because I have horrible gear and horrible rolls. But you know what? It's fine. And then last but not least, our amulet. We go for Storm Swell. You know, this is a triple greater affix. It's probably not even going to be the best, because I only have like 50 to 60% crit chance. So the Devouring Blaze ends up not doing so much. Probably it would be better to have cooldown reduction or percent intelligence on there. But you know, this is as good as I have. And obviously you want to have unstable currents cooldown reduction and also teleport damage, not critical strike damage here. For the Paragon, really nothing special. I choose survivability in this build, and we go with Tactician here as usual. Then we go for Enchantment Master. We pick all the non-physical damage here for our Frigid Fate node, and we pick the extra life nodes. And we get our Elementalist glyph here. Then next board is going to be Burning Instinct. We just get the damage reduction, put in our Destruction glyph here, and you know, we get the damage reduction nodes. Then we go into Elemental Summoner here, get the node for the extra Conjuration cooldown reduction. We put in our Conjurer for the extra Conjuration duration. Since Conjuration Mastery, as in every single Sorc build, is driving our damage. We go for the attack speed and the extra life here. Then we go into Frigid Fate. As you can see, it's maxed just from the non-physical damage from the Paragon here. And we go into the damage reduction, and we put in our Charge glyph for an extra 15% damage. Then we go down to the Aesthetic Search board here. Would be nice to have some more dexterity to actually max out this glyph, but I don't have it. And we put in our Control glyph here. And then last but not least, we have the Searing Heat board here. Same, we just picked the glyph socket here, and that's going to be our Exploit glyph.